Some changes in life seem to come quietly, don't they? One day you realize that what once made sense no longer brings the same satisfaction. Your interests change, your priorities begin to align differently, and even your patience with certain situations seems to have run out. Perhaps you have noticed an unexpected desire to be quieter, more reserved, or even a need to leave behind what no longer belongs to who you are today. These moments do not happen by chance. They are clear signs that something greater is being awakened within you. As a chosen one of God, your journey is not just about what you do, but about who you are becoming. And sometimes, this transformation comes with signs that may seem strange or difficult to understand. But believe me, each symptom is a divine invitation to align your life with the purpose that God has for you. For example, have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt that something was off? Or noticed that your energy seems to change drastically after certain encounters or conversations? These small details, which we often ignore, can be reflections of something deep happening within us, something that goes far beyond what the eyes can see. In today's video, I want to share with you 7 signs of spiritual ascension that may be present in your life right now. Recognizing them not only brings clarity to what you are experiencing, but also strengthens your faith that God is guiding every detail of your journey. If you feel that this message is for you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel before we continue. Here, we talk about the challenges, signs, and promises that God places in the lives of His chosen ones. Leave your like and turn on notifications so you don't miss any content that strengthens your spiritual journey. Shall we dive into this topic together? Then let's get started. During the process of spiritual ascension, the physical body reacts to internal changes in ways that we do not always perceive immediately. One of the most common signs is the change in relationship with food. You may start to reject foods that you previously insisted on including in your meals, such as meats, very fatty foods, or fast food. Some people even feel nauseous just thinking about certain foods. This happens because the body, as a temple of the Spirit, begins to adjust to the transformations that God is operating in your life. When you are connecting more with the divine will, everything in you, body, mind, and spirit, seeks to align with this new frequency. And believe me, this includes even what you eat. The food we put into our bodies affects not only our physical health, but also our energy. Natural and fresh foods, such as fruits, vegetables, and grains, contribute to a lighter and elevated vibration. On the other hand, processed foods and those high in fats can do the opposite, making us heavier, not just physically, but also spiritually. It's as if the body itself is saying, "This no longer matches the path you are walking." Some people report that during this period, they start to seek foods they never liked before, or that they never had the habit of consuming. This change may seem strange, but it is a reflection of the purification that is happening. God, in His wisdom, calls us to take better care of the temple He has given us, so that we can be ready for the mission He has entrusted to us. A very clear example of this is in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 3:16, which reminds us that we are the temple of God and that the Holy Spirit dwells in us. This shows us that taking care of the body is a way to honor the divine presence that exists within us. It is not about perfection or following strict dietary rules, but about being more attentive to what does us good and what helps us maintain inner peace. If you are going through this, do not worry. This does not mean that you need to radically change your diet overnight. Listen to your body and pay attention to the messages it is sending. Small daily changes can make a big difference. You may notice that reducing the consumption of processed foods or including more fresh foods in your daily life brings more energy, lightness, and mental clarity. Remember that every step in the right direction is important. When we take care of what we put into our bodies, We are demonstrating obedience and gratitude for what God has entrusted to us. This care reflects our desire to be more finely tuned instruments to fulfill the divine purpose. Therefore, when you feel that something in your diet no longer matches you, do not see it as something negative. View it as a sign that God is working in your life, adjusting even the details that seem simple. He is preparing you for something greater, and taking care of the temple He has given you is part of that process. Spiritual transformation is something complete and affects all areas of our lives. Even dietary changes are part of this great work. If you are experiencing this moment, accept it as a gift from God and trust that He is shaping you for something special. The ringing in the ears may seem like something common or even uncomfortable, but for those going through a process of spiritual ascension, it can be a sign of something much deeper. Often it feels as if God is trying to get your attention about something important. This ringing, far from being just a physical annoyance, may indicate that your spiritual senses are expanding and that you are picking up frequencies that go beyond what human ears normally perceive. When God elevates us spiritually, He also adjusts our sensitivity. The ringing in the ears can be a way to connect us with His voice, or to alert us to something happening in the spiritual realm. You may be more receptive to God's messages, or even to the presence of angels and divine signs around you. At this moment, the most important thing is not to worry or be frightened. View it as a reminder that God is near and that you are in tune with Him. Whenever you feel this ringing, take the opportunity to stop what you are doing and pray. Talk to God and ask what He wants to show or tell you. It may be an opportunity to reinforce your connection with the divine and seek answers that are in your heart. The ringing may also be a sign that your spiritual third eye, known as the center of perception and intuition, is being activated. It is at this moment that you may begin to feel things you did not notice before, such as greater clarity about situations or a stronger intuition about decisions you need to make. These signs come to guide you and help you walk with more wisdom. Of course, if the ringing is persistent or causing physical discomfort, it is always good to seek medical advice. However, if it appears at specific moments, accompanied by a sense of calm or a call to seek God's presence, view it as something spiritual. The best way to react is to create a space of peace in these moments. It can be through a short prayer, a Bible reading, or even a moment of silence where you simply thank God for speaking with you. Ask Him to further open your spiritual ears so that you can understand what He wants to reveal. The ringing in the ears is a reminder that you are not alone and that there is a greater purpose unfolding in your life. Stay alert, remain connected, and trust that God is guiding you exactly where you need to be. As you progress on your spiritual journey, you may notice that your sensitivity to people and situations becomes stronger. It's as if something within you begins to pick up energies that previously went unnoticed. This gift of discerning the energies around you is a gift from God to help you walk in the path of light. This ability can manifest in different ways. Perhaps you enter a place and, without any logical explanation, feel that something is wrong. Or maybe you meet someone, and even without exchanging many words, already have a clear idea about that person's intentions. This sensitivity is not a hasty judgment, but a refined gift that God grants to the chosen ones to protect and guide them in their mission. Reading energy more easily is a sign that you are spiritually more aligned. When you can discern what comes from God and what does not, you avoid getting involved in situations that may divert you from the divine purpose. This perception also helps you make wiser decisions, choosing paths that strengthen your faith and distance you from what is not in accordance with God's plans for your life. It is important to remember that this gift should not be used to criticize or condemn others, but as a tool to act with wisdom and compassion. When you feel that something is misaligned with God's will, pray for discernment. Ask Him for clarity to understand what is happening and wisdom to act in the right way. The Bible teaches us that wisdom is a fountain of life to those who possess it. Proverbs 16:22. This means that this gift not only protects you, but can also be a source of inspiration for others. When you act with discernment, guided by God, your life becomes an example of faith and obedience. If you have already noticed that you are more sensitive to the energies around you, embrace this as part of what God is doing in your life. Seek to strengthen this gift in prayer and through the Word of God. The more you connect with Him, the clearer your perception will be, and the more aligned you will be with the purpose He has for you. Spiritual sensitivity is a powerful gift. Use it to build your life, protect your path, and be a light to those around you. God has entrusted you with this gift for a reason, and He will always be by your side to help you use it with wisdom and love. When we go through a spiritual transformation, this change is not restricted to our interior. It often begins to reflect on our exterior, like a mirror that reveals what is happening in our spirit. This may arise as an unexpected desire to change our appearance, cutting or dyeing hair, renewing our clothing style, or even adjusting small details that previously went unnoticed. This change is not superficial. It happens because, as God works in us, the divine light begins to shine brighter. And naturally, we want our exterior to be in harmony with this new spiritual state. It's as if we are aligning how we present ourselves to the world with who we are becoming internally. Many report that during moments of spiritual ascension, they feel the desire to simplify life, including the way they dress or take care of themselves. Perhaps you have already gone through this, felt the need to set aside a style or appearance that no longer matched who you are now. Or you may have noticed that, even without significant intentional changes, people start to notice something different about you, something that conveys peace and purpose. This happens because spiritual transformation changes more than our behavior. It affects our energy, our gaze, and even the way we move and speak. When God shapes and purifies us, everything in us reflects this divine work, including our appearance. This renewal is not about conforming to external standards or seeking approval from others. It is about living a life more aligned with the light of God. Often, as we undergo an internal transformation, we feel the need to leave behind things that no longer represent who we are, whether it be a clothing style, a way of expressing ourselves, or even a posture towards life. If you are feeling this desire to change your appearance, embrace that feeling. Use this moment as a symbol of what God is doing in your life. Allow every detail, no matter how small, to reflect the peace, joy, and hope that He has placed in your heart. Remember, God looks at the heart, but He also uses our presence and our light to impact others. Your appearance is a reflection of the work He is doing in you, and an opportunity to show the world the transformation that only He can accomplish. During the process of spiritual ascension, it is possible for the physical body to react in unexpected ways. Many people report feeling pains in their bodies, such as headaches, back pain, chest pain, or even in other areas. These sensations, as uncomfortable as they may be, can be signs that something greater is happening within you. When God works in us, He often leads us to release spiritual blockages and accumulated energies that no longer serve us. It's as if the body is cleansing what has been stored for a long time and now needs to come out to make way for spiritual renewal. These pains, referred to by many as spiritual growth pains, are common during this phase of transformation. An example of this is when we feel pressure or pain in the head, especially during moments of deep reflection or prayer. This may be related to the activation of our spiritual centers, such as understanding and connection with the divine. Chest pains may symbolize the heart being worked on, God helping us to release hurts, resentments, and anything that is weighing on our soul. While it is important to recognize the spiritual aspect of these pains, it is also essential to take care of the physical body. If the discomfort is persistent or very intense, seek medical advice to rule out any physical causes that need attention. Remember that God has given us wisdom and resources to care for our health in a holistic way. In these moments, ask God for strength to overcome the discomfort and wisdom to understand what He is trying to teach through this experience. Prayer is a powerful tool to relieve pain and bring peace to the heart. Speak to God sincerely, handing over your difficulties to Him and trusting that He is in control of every detail. Psalm 103:3 reminds us that the Lord is the one who heals all your diseases. This means that He is present both to heal our bodies and to restore our souls. Your pains are not a punishment, but an opportunity to trust even more in divine care and to allow Him to shape you for something greater. If you are experiencing these pains, see it as part of a process of growth and renewal. Just as an athlete feels pain when strengthening their muscles, you are being spiritually prepared for a new phase. Trust that God is with you every step of this journey, and that, at the right moment, the pain will give way to the peace and fullness that only He can bring. During the process of spiritual ascension, it is common to feel an unexpected need to isolate oneself. This desire to distance oneself from people, busy routines, and even activities that were once part of daily life may seem strange at first, but it carries a profound purpose. Isolation for the chosen ones of God is like a spiritual cocoon. It is during this period that God works in a special way, shaping the spirit and preparing it for the plans to come. Think of isolation as a divine invitation for a deeper encounter with God and with yourself. This moment of solitude allows you to disconnect from external distractions and focus on what truly matters, your connection with the Creator and the purpose He is revealing. Many chosen ones report that during these periods, their prayers become more sincere, their reflections more intense, and they begin to perceive truths that were previously unnoticed. It may feel uncomfortable at first, especially because we live in a world that values constant interaction and sharing everything. Silence and solitude may seem contrary to this logic. However, isolation is not empty. It is a space filled with the presence of God. Just as a seed needs to be buried in darkness before sprouting and growing, the chosen one needs this time of quiet to be strengthened. In the Bible, we find clear examples of how isolation was fundamental in the lives of great men and women of God. Moses had his encounter with God in the desert, away from the crowds. Elijah, amidst his journey of discouragement, found strength in the cave, where he heard the gentle voice of God. And Jesus, in His divine wisdom, often withdrew to solitary places to pray and renew Himself spiritually. These moments of withdrawal were not escapes, but opportunities for spiritual alignment and preparation. During isolation, it is natural for some things to change within you. Old habits may seem unnecessary, while new desires and goals begin to emerge. You may feel that relationships or situations that were once important no longer make much sense. This is not something to fear, but rather to accept. God is adjusting everything in your life so that you are in tune with His purpose. This period may also bring to the surface feelings or memories that were stored away. Sometimes we face emotions that we have avoided for a long time, but it is precisely in isolation that God works to heal them. Do not flee from these moments. Use them to deepen your prayer, to open your heart to God, and to hand over to Him what has been weighing you down. He is an expert at transforming pain into strength and uncertainty into direction. One of the great beauties of isolation is how it prepares us. Just as the caterpillar spends time in the cocoon before transforming into a butterfly, the chosen one also needs this time to grow spiritually. It is not wasted time, but an investment in your journey. When the period of isolation comes to an end, you emerge from it stronger, more focused, and with a clearer vision of what God desires for you. It is important to remember that isolation is not abandonment. God never leaves us alone, even in moments when we feel most distant from everything and everyone. He is there by your side, shaping you with love and patience. This is a time of intimacy, where you can allow yourself to hear His voice more clearly, without the interference of the world. If you are going through this moment, accept it as a gift. Do not fight against isolation. Embrace it. Allow yourself to rest in the presence of God. Trust the process, and know that He is preparing something greater for your life. Silence is often the place where God whispers the most important truths to our hearts. When you understand this, you will see that this period is an opportunity to grow, renew, and align with the divine plan. But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. Luke 5:16. If Jesus Himself, who was perfect, found strength and direction in solitude, how much more should we, who depend entirely on God's grace and love? This time is not an interruption, but a preparation for what is to come. Trust in Him and know that you are on the right path. The chosen ones of God often feel a desire to step away from the hustle and bustle of daily life and seek calm in the divine creation. This is not just a simple liking for being outdoors, but a need to reconnect with something greater. Being in touch with nature is more than a moment of rest. It is an opportunity for spiritual restoration, a way to align your energy with the peace and harmony that comes from God. God's creation is perfect in its simplicity. When you observe the sky, feel the wind on your face, or walk among trees, something inside you begins to adjust. These moments bring a sense of peace that is rarely found elsewhere. The body relaxes, the mind slows down, and the spirit feels renewed. This happens because nature reflects the essence of God: balance, order, and beauty. Many chosen ones report that when they spend time in nature, they can hear God's voice more clearly. This does not mean you will hear audible words, but that your mind will be more open to reflections, intuitions, and even answers you have been seeking. The natural silence, interrupted only by the sound of the wind or the singing of birds, creates the perfect environment for prayer and contemplation. If you have ever felt overwhelmed or confused, experiencing moments like this may be exactly what you need. There is no need to plan something elaborate. It can be as simple as sitting on a park bench, walking barefoot on the grass, or watching the sunset. These seemingly small gestures have a profound impact. They remind us of God's greatness and how He is present in everything around us. Connecting with nature is also a way to give thanks. When you appreciate the sparkle of the stars or the sound of the rain, you recognize God's hand in every detail. This recognition strengthens your faith and renews your trust in the Creator. Psalm 19 verse 1 tells us, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands." All of creation points to Him, and when you connect with it, you are connecting with God Himself. If you have been going through a time of fatigue, insecurity, or even loneliness, allow yourself to take a step outside and be in touch with creation. It doesn't matter where you are, a busy city or a quiet rural area. There is always a piece of nature waiting for you. It could be a tree in front of your house, a small garden, or the sky above you. When you sit in the presence of God's creation, your spirit begins to align with divine harmony. Concerns seem to diminish and give way to a feeling of gratitude. Your spiritual frequency adjusts because nature operates in the peace that comes from God. It's as if you receive a reminder that you are not alone and that everything in creation functions under His care and sovereignty. Nature also teaches us precious lessons about patience and trust. By observing a tree growing or the cycle of the seasons, we are reminded that everything has its right time to happen. Just as spring follows winter, periods of difficulty in our lives are also followed by renewals. God uses creation to show us that He is always in control. If you feel this call to be closer to nature, heed it. Take these moments as an opportunity to restore your faith, reflect on what God has been doing in your life, and seek His guidance. These small breaks in the daily rush can become great moments of communion and spiritual strengthening. When you connect with creation, you connect with the Creator. It is a silent exchange, but full of meaning, that renews your mind, body, and spirit. Let the peace you find in these moments accompany you on your journey, always remembering that God is present in everything around you. Spiritual ascension is much more than internal changes that seem inexplicable. It is an invitation from God for you to draw closer to His purpose and align your life with the divine plan. Every symptom, sensation, or experience you have been facing is a way for God to shape and prepare you for a special mission. These experiences are not random or something you are imagining. They are clear signs that you are growing, leveling up, and becoming someone closer to what God desires you to be. If at any point you have felt doubt or fear amidst these transformations, know that this is normal. Every change brings discomfort at first, but when we surrender our lives into God's hands, He transforms that discomfort into strength and direction. Every step you take in this process is accompanied by Him. Each day, He cleanses what is no longer necessary, restores what needs to be renewed, and strengthens you for the purpose that is to come. Isaiah 61 reminds us, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." This is a promise for those who accept the call of spiritual ascension. God is with you, and His glory is shining upon your life. Whatever challenge you are facing right now, trust that He is guiding every detail with perfection. If you have identified the signs we mentioned today in your life, take this moment to thank God. Gratitude opens doors and further strengthens your connection with the Creator. Acknowledge that He is shaping you to be a light in a world that needs hope, love, and faith. We would love to hear from you. Share in the comments how God has been working in your life. Did any of the signs mentioned resonate with you? Your experience can inspire other chosen ones who are on the same journey. If this message touched your heart, share it with others who also need to hear it. God has a special plan for each of us, and together we can strengthen each other and continue this walk in faith. May the light of God shine ever brighter in your life.